guys.
Welcome. All right, folks, here we are. Time to start this CEVO Season 7 Pro League LAN Finals. Here we are at MLG's Arena here in Columbus, Ohio. Yet again, I am Sir Scoots. I am once again joined by Thorin Duncan Shields. He was here last time with me at Season 7. But we've got the third angel finally with us here in the MLG building. Richard Lewis, how are you?
It's great to be doing an MLG event.
Nice, huh?
Yeah.
I told you it was a good time.
Man, I've loved it out here. These guys, they know how to look after talent, I'll tell you that. Like, I'm having a great time. So, and looking at the teams they've got here as well, I mean, all of these teams, you think about how many were involved in a major, it's like, this is actually a great tournament. It's wide open. So.
And again, I think what's going to be kind of intriguing is last week you played the immaculate host role. Very politically correct. I'll take that off you now. So now
we can do one of those. Who did it better?
No, he'll
Tweets on Twitter.
Who did it bigger?
A poll.
Oh, man.
Let's get it going.
More importantly, that you were very unbiased. You were very non-opinionated for the most part during the show. Now
I thought you were talking to me then.
Oh, yeah, never you. Now it's time for you to be that guy again.
Yeah.
The old Richard Lewis. Like that's why you're here. You're going to be our analyst as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It can be quite frustrating, as I'm sure you're aware. When you're doing the host role, you don't get to give your opinions as much. You have to sort of be the anchor in a conversation, not let people dominate the desk too much. Can be difficult, but it's nice.
You notice we bookended him, right?
Yeah, honestly, guys, he's been off the chain backstage, so...
I need a box, by the
I'm
way.
already ready. I'm ready to go, boys. There's NA teams there. There's Europeans. Let's go.
But as I brought up in the pre-show,
obviously
this is CEVO's LAN Finals, but really 7 out of the 8 teams were just in Romania with us, again, playing top-level Counter-Strike.
Yep.
So we're going to show the groups again so you guys can walk through them. So we'll start with Group A. I just want to get your guys' general impressions. That's Virtus Pro, Liquid, Dignitas, and Conquest. Again, obviously, the dark horse, the most unknown team, if you will, even, certainly Conquest. They've done amazingly well online, if you look at their last results. Like 12 straight in the various leagues online, but again, no solid LAN play with this roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and LAN's obviously when you need to come in and step up. You know, looking at the lineup, they have got experienced guys. It's not just like one of those kind of pug teams where it's just a bunch of randoms that people haven't heard of. I think they've actually got some good teams, good players in the team. Obviously, Shazam's got that Cloud9 experience. I think he's got a lot to prove. I don't think they got the best out of him at Cloud9. It helped him out with his professional demeanor, but I don't think it gave him a platform to shine in terms of talent. And I think he has more talent than he's actually got to show in Cloud9. I don't think he's a bad player. I know that's not an opinion you share. I think
he'd have
to. and Nafly, of course, who I think is like one of those guys who's got like a lot of firepower. Obviously, a younger guy. He's somebody that I always enjoyed watching. But back in other teams and lineups that he's been in. So I think look, that group's incredibly tough for them, but I don't think they'll embarrass themselves.
Well, the interesting thing for me, the best storyline in this group is that the key thing about Team Liquid's performance at the major was he said, good performance, chances to beat NIP, playing well in all these games. But then you looked at it and you were like, no one could have got out that group. It was the group of death.
Yep.
Or what could they have done if they'd been in a different group? They've got the easier group here. They're in a group where
Liquid,
a lot of people would favour them to come out second here. They've got a chance. And then who knows when they go against Virtus Pro. That was a team they played close on a map when they were in Romania at PGL. So I don't think they're going to get out in first, but I think they have a good chance to get out overall, make some playoff experience, go against maybe another top European team. So I think this is the event where we really get to see how good Team Liquid is. Not the major where they were in the stack group and we could just kind of gauge it relative to the fact, well, you weren't going to win this game, but how many rounds did you get? So if, bearing in mind there's no Cloud9, there's no CLG, this is the event where they can stake their claim, we are the best NA team.
And I think Dignitas have come out here, and this is almost like a holiday for them. I don't even know how serious they're going to be taking this event, frankly. They had a terrible time with all the things that happened surrounding, Schneider, and 1 minute he's in, 1 minute he's out. And, this is an event I think they've brought Tensky in. And I don't think that they really have a lot of expectations for doing well here.
Now, that being said, they were the one team that when they lost in Romania, they left.
Yeah.
Like, they came home to practice. And, again, Tensky's new, so maybe they thought 1 or 2 more days just chatting with him, scrimming with him, because I don't know who they scrimmed with. Everyone was still at the event. But I think I don't think they, BM'd out of the tournament and left because they lost. I think they went to try to work on some stuff. Now, whether that works out for them or not. Other side of the coin, I had breakfast with the Virtus Pro guys, and they love coming to America. And they love best of threes. And they love best of threes. Exactly, great movie. So Taz, Taz is fired up. They are the defending champion. They like this event. They like. He likes coming to Columbus, Ohio. It's kind of an interesting conversation. I'm like, okay, they like convenience of food and all that kind of stuff. So for them, much like you're saying, MLG takes good care of us. They take really good care of the players. So I think Taz feels very at home on this one.
BP have always loved playing NA teams. They feel like that's a style they can read. They like to play against. And when you consider they got kind of shocked by getting put out by G2 Esports in the quarterfinals there. They were expecting to get a deep run themselves, maybe have a crack at Envious. So getting put out in the round of 8 there, I reckon they'll be mad for this event. They'll want to come in and say, right, all the teams at this event we can beat. So let's win this event and show that we're right back, you know.
And then obviously the second group in front of us, Group B is coming your way. Na'Vi, Titan, Luminosity, Mouse Sports.
Now this, for me, way more interesting group, just in terms of really hard to call, I think. Na'Vi have just come out with a final of a major, but honestly, if we're just speaking candidly, I don't think they really hit too many high points along the way. I think they pretty much labored to that final and then didn't look great in it. Titan, on the other, I don't even know how they're coming into this. And Mouse Sports, of course, disappointing again at yet another major. So the only person that's probably is coming in there, sure, Na'Vi made a final. They looked super crushed to lose it. But is Luminosity, who had, like, pound for pound. I mean, they could have beat Na'Vi, conceivably, in the game they played. You know, it was like, what, 16-14, 16-13?
Close series,
ridiculously close series. Great level of individual performance. They beat Fnatic, biggest upset in their history. They're the team in this group I'm looking at.
Well, here's the cool thing for Luminosity. I said this at the major. It's great that you beat Fnatic on one map. You've done this time and time again. They're a proven team. Almost every big LAN, they get a big upset over like a European team or a higher-rated team. The problem is they've never won a series over one. Well, now they're going to have to win series. It's a best-of-3 tournament, even the group stage best-of-3. So even if, let's say for some reason they didn't get out the group stage, they're going to at least have chances against Titan, maybe against Na'Vi later, against Mouse Sports. So they're going to have chances to pick up best-of-3 victories. And from looking at the form they were in at the major and how they've improved and how Cold Zero's addition has added to the overall arsenal they have of skilled players, I think they can get out of this group.
Well, and let's go ahead and shift gears. Now that you guys are caught up with the groups, let's talk about this first one. So we're bringing you Titan Luminosity, best of 3. Obviously, the Vitos will start soon. But let's just jump into that. And again, I think the talking point for Luminosity, at the major especially, was certainly Cold Zero.
Oh, I mean, this guy, we had lots of question marks about him. It was only his second major. He's one of the more inexperienced players there. First one, it was, first major he performed at, it was passable. You know, it was a reasonably decent performance, but not anything to shout about. At this event, he was like, probably Luminosity's best player, like just pound for pound. I mean, Fallen obviously did damage as well. Fair had some explosive rounds, but just in terms of consistency, having that firepower, Cold was, like say, pound for pound, one of the best players of the whole tournament. So this is what's making the difference to Luminosity now. They've always been a really good tactical team, really good at anti-stratting teams when they know they're going to be playing against them. But this is what they've never really had before. Someone that can be really explosive and drop lots of frags, regularly hit 30. So that's why I even think that, well, I think this is going to be a shoo-in for them against Titan, just jumping ahead. I mean, I honestly think they're going to win this.
Well, what makes it a sexy matchup is, historically, what Titan always had going for them versus almost every team was they were always the more tactical team because they were so set in the existing style of play. But actually, one of the best qualities of Luminosity in the past when they were Keyd Stars and they were Kaboom, before they got this more skilled lineup, was they had really sound tactics, actually, and they knew the maps that they would work on. So what I'm finding interesting now is, I think it's going to be more a case that it's going to be more of a fragging match, actually. And you're going to see, potentially, at the moment, when you consider some of the underperformances over on the Titan side, Luminosity could outskill them even. So this is a whole new world for this Luminosity team and where they're coming from in South America. And even though Titan may have slipped a bit, I think that's a solid potential best-of-3 win you can get, because again, it's not just a best-of-1 upset, it's over a series. And you're going to have to go back and forth and play them on a strong map and probably go outside your comfort pool a little bit, but you're strong enough at the moment, maybe you could even win their map pick. So I think it's a very interesting matchup in terms of the Luminosity context. And if you're Titan, obviously, listen, you've slipped a bit, that you need some wins here. You're hurting right now. You need to get wins, you need to start showing that it was worth buying all that money for Scream. So for them, even though Luminosity is in good form, I think they have to win this series. It's a must-win.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just think we keep saying this about Titan, that they're a dark horse at this tournament, and then they crap out, and then it's like, well, okay, they've brought Screaming now. They paid a 6-figure amount of money for this guy. He's going to add some firepower. Then he's really underwhelming, and then you're like, well, RPK's back to his best. Doesn't happen. Then you're like, okay, but Shocks, surely God Mode, he's going to carry them. Doesn't happen. Every time we start talking about Titan and what they're capable of achieving, they fall so far from that expectation. It's really depressing. It's a sad time to be a Titan fan right now. I don't see how they can beat a team like this.
Well, we have the veto process just starting. You haven't missed anything yet, folks, so it's going to light up for us. But before before we get to that, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. They have 3 maps that they share that they all like, okay, which is Inferno, Dust 2, and Train. both teams like those to varying degrees. So I'm expecting those to be what we're going to pick the first 2 maps from. So I think it's a very good chance Titan might actually pick something like Dust 2. Meanwhile, I wouldn't be surprised if Luminosity were to pick something like Inferno. So if I'm thinking in terms of bans, for Luminosity, Titan rather, it should be a Mirage ban, because that's the map that famously Luminosity have gotten a lot of their upsets with. It's not really a Titan map. Cash and Mirage are the ones they don't play at the moment. Over on the Luminosity side of things, it should be a Cobble ban, because it's a very good map for Titan. It was a good map for them at the Major, and it's a map that the Luminosity guys don't play. That's one of the ones that they've got the most losses on. So those 2, I think, should be obvious ones. So we can see... Well, they haven't had the ban yet, so we're going to see what they do. The problem is, the random map for the 3rd one. With what I'm thinking is going to be left in, there's a chance something like Cash can be left in, which neither team really wants. It's down there on the list. Something obviously like Train, that would be pretty cool if it was to be left in, because, I mean, it is a map that they've both played a bit. Luminosity's got surprisingly good record on it. Titan have played it a lot, but haven't won that many times, so you've got that kind of balance there. The 3rd map decider for this one can really make it interesting, because I think both teams will have chances on map 1 and 2, but there's also a good chance we can split them and go to a 3rd.
And then, folks, just as you're watching at home, there are 2 streams going. I think Helium and Launders told you that earlier. So on the 2nd stream, and the easiest thing to do is just go to MLG.tv. It's all on the front page. Both streams, Mouse Sports and Navi, are getting organized. We kind of see that on our 2nd stream. And anytime you see any stats over the weekend, folks, they are based on the CEVO season. So don't let that confuse you. Don't go looking at Half-Life TV and going, wait a minute, these are totally different. These are not overall stats for the last couple months. It's truly as it's based on CEVO. So what you'll also see is if we start talking about Virtus Pro and Navi, they were invited this year to attend because they got 1st and 2nd place last time. So sometimes for them, the stats will be blank. Let's get back. You brought up a question about Stream's buyout, and the rumor is it was about 150,000 euros to buy him. And then the shocks factor. Those are 2 very important things. The shocks factor, but what kind of stress is on that buyout?
Here's the thing. On one level, if you looked at it and evaluated it as a buyout, it hasn't been good so far because it hasn't had an impact on the games. He hasn't even looked good even when they were playing well in the games. It was actually RPK and Shocks who were carrying in the game against NIP before they broke down on Cash. With that said, the reason it's an interesting number is because it seems so high, but actually that's the current situation that we're in. That's a scenario where no one thinks that's a low number if you know the economics behind the scene of the sticker money and all the rest of it. So actually it's not that unreasonable.
Yeah, we've just seen
okay, here we go. Like I said, for Titan, obvious to do the Mirage ban because that's not a good map for you, and it's famously the strongest of Luminosity in the past.
Yeah.
Interesting ban to ban Train though, because it's actually a map that Luminosity's been decently on. Titan's been pretty good on it, not that good on it actually, a bit iffy. I would have expected a Cobble ban there because I expect this to be a Cobble pick now for Titan.
I agree
with
you.
Now the Cash pick for Luminosity is risky. It's not a great map for them, but it's also one that we've seen nothing from the new Titan on. So
what do you think about the fact that, I mean, obviously, Titan definitely have to ban Mirage, but Overpass could come up in the randometer here. That'd be pretty difficult, right?
Yeah, I think that would be one of the more difficult ones, one they're not looking for. It's one that they have been trying to play more recently. I'm wondering what's taking so long here, because I'm almost certain it's going to be a Cobble pick when you look at the maps that are left. Like it's been a map that's been fantastically strong.
I mean, famously, he comes into tournaments and they'll have worked on something. They've always got something new. That's one thing I will say about Titan. It doesn't always work, but they do always come with a ridiculous playbook, new ideas. I agree with you. I think this is going to be a Cobble pick, but equally, you can never tell. They typically do sort of work and restructure tactics based on one map at a time.
For the sake of the series,
what
I would love is if they pick Cobble here Titan, I would love it if the random map was actually Dust 2.
Yeah.
Because a good map for Titan, believe it or not, their only map in the last 3 months on LAN is the ridiculous one they lost to NIP. Meanwhile, Luminosity haven't played it much, but that was the map where famously they beat Cloud9, Coldzera had his breakout performance, so that would be a really sexy 3rd map if we can get there.
But I mean, again, I just feel if it does come out as Overpass, that could be real hard times for Titan. So, so there it is. There's a couple of you got your wish, don't we?
Yeah, we've got the
we got the one we want
here.
But I mean, I still think this veto really goes towards Luminosity here.
I'm not so sure on that because I think Cobble. I think that's almost a lock for Titan. Cash is the questionable one because I do think Titan can be weak on that. Dust 2, I actually am kind of feeling that for Titan. I'm thinking Titan will take this 2-1 actually.
Oof. So a couple of notes from the last major. Titan beat NIP in that group stage on Cobble.
Yep.
Then they got destroyed by NIP, 16-1 on Dust 2.
Yeah.
Tale of 2 maps there.
But as I said, that's actually an anomaly. The rest of the Dust 2 games they've been winning. So that, if anything, that showed how on tilt they were. That they didn't even make Dust 2 competitive when actually that should have been their map over Cash. Cash is the one they shouldn't have been winning. Remember, that's another factor, Richard. Cash was the map where Shox and RPK did go ham. They almost beat it, but then the collapse happened. And it happened on T side. That's a key point to make here.
Yeah.
Because it showed tactically the game's changed for Titan. They're not this team that goes super hard, execute tactics only. They're a bit looser, and some of the comments people make now is, sometimes there's other people calling when the breakdown happens there, other people doing things there.
The thing is, as well, I mean, that obviously puts existence like in uncharted territory. You know, they've been talking about him almost being like kind of a wingman for someone who's coming out on point and he's trying to play loose, and it's just, I don't know, I really wasn't convinced. That 16-1 is one of the most embarrassingly one-sided performances I've seen at any major tournament. And when I say major, I don't just obviously mean the majors.
Sure.
I mean any sizable tournament. It was like they completely just waved the white flag, lay down, and they got absolutely rolled over. And that's why I've got real questions about them, even on Dust 2. I don't know if they're going to get some sort of PTSD type thing come in when they start playing that map again. But Luminosity can body them. I think Firepower, the way Scream's playing at the moment, you know, think about it, RPK was like having to go carrier bags in that series, and they still didn't win it. So, I don't know, man. I'm really not sold on Titan right now. I'm really not sold on it.
So, question about Luminosity, right?
Yeah.
We always joke now that they're a North American team. Obviously, they've moved to the States,
team,
right? Or they're Americas, you know, because it all. But their scene is not any more prolific in the sense of practice partners than
Non-existent, man.
Yeah. So why are they so good for having a scene that's arguably worse than America's?
It's just work. It's just work. I mean, let's be real as well. Obviously, they're practicing against, you know, North American teams regular. They're playing in the Pro League, so then they're not thinking let's play against Brazilians, and they're not preparing to beat their local scene. They don't have to worry about that. They're bona fide North American. They're a top North American team, even though they're from South America, you know. So they're just putting in the work. They religiously analyze their opponents in the same way that Renegades used to say, the Australians. They were like, we don't want to be the kings of Australia. We don't prepare to beat immunity. So expect to see shock results and upsets then when we play people in our backyard. We want to take maps off the top teams. That's what Luminosity are doing right now. And you know, that's why they have all these upset results.
One of the reasons I've always said I don't want to hear the excuses from North American players is because you can only make the excuse once you've done what is in your power.
Yeah.
Then you can say about the things that aren't in your power, don't have top Europeans here, you know, people are more spread out. Then you can make the argument, because what's happening is Luminosity have come into NA and practiced here and gotten better. If they'd come to Europe and boot camp for 3 months, okay, then I'd give the credit, right? You have to go to Europe to do it. The reason they're so good is they play fundamentally correct Counter-Strike. They build up a certain map pool. They're going to play these maps again and again. They have good T-side strats. They have good setups. They watch demos. They figure things out. All the things people were crediting C9 for when they got that really good summer, these guys do it all the time, though, and they've done it for a year now. They've done it at 3 majors. Yep. They've done it at a gang of lands. That's why they always get the upsets, because they can have the surprise factor against better teams.
And right now, you can see, I mean, talk to them. They're mega confident.
Yeah.
You know, that they believe this is their time. Like they're in the ascendancy. Meanwhile, Titan, even if we wanted to be generous, they're now going through this new thing where Existence, for the first time in like 3 years, he's accepting that maybe being a playbook in-game leader isn't the way to go. Maybe you have to be loose. Maybe you have to make a contribution to the scoreboard. And you absolutely do. That's the way the meta's evolved. And I think because of that, they're trying out new things. And you don't want to be trying out new things by the time, you know, when you're at the tournament. You want to be trying out new things in practice and be ready for the tournament. I just think Titan aren't. You know, I think they got caught cold at the major. I think they're going to get caught cold here, and I think it's back to the drawing board.
So, predictions?
I'm actually thinking Titan will take it 2-1. I'm thinking Luminosity can win Cash. I think that's doable. They're going to have a chance on Dust 2, certainly. I think those two could go the other way, but I think if it gets to the Dust 2 third map, that's the one where I think Titan's going to win. So I think Cobble, I've got definitely going to Titan. I think Cash can go to Luminosity, so I'm going to go 2-1 Titan.
I came in trying to think about how the veto could go to give Titan a chance. I had Luminosity as a strong pick before this, and obviously that Cobble pick, yeah, that gives them a map. I'm still not really sold by Luminosity on there. I still think it'll be close and competitive, but Duncan's right. You've got to give that one to Titan. By contrast, though, I give the other 2 maps. I think Cash, I think Luminosity will do a number on Titan there, and I think on Dust 2, I think it'll be close, but it seems crazy when you look at that Titan lineup. But I actually think Luminosity right now, just in terms of form, might have a little bit more firepower. You know, Screams in the doldrums, RPK's having to overcome that sort of nightmare he had with the team kill that cost him that game. And obviously, yeah, sure, he played in the series after that and looked really good in it. But I just think overall, I think Titan have got some issues, and I think Luminosity don't have any of those issues right now.
So I'm going to throw production under the bus because they don't know I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask them to bring those stats back up so we can do some roster rundowns. So when the stats pull back up, I'm going to have you kind of quickly walk through, waiting for one more player to get in the server too. So let's do a little roster rundown. Hopefully they'll bring us Titan first. Here comes Titan right now. Thank you, man in my ear. You're a rock star. Because again, Luminosity has gotten quarterfinals these last 3 majors, but they can't close out these best of 3s.
They were really close to closing out a series against Na'Vi, though.
So
You're literally talking about 1 or 2 rounds, 1 or 2 moments, and that can come down to such small margins. Like, Na'Vi had to dig so deep to beat them, and let's be real, they had one of the best players, if not the best player, at the whole major in the former Guardian, who went off big time. So that's what they had to do to overcome Luminosity. It's not even a question of them not being able to close the deal. They were so close. It was just Na'Vi have one of the best players in the world right now.
He's your MVP of the tournament, even though they got second
Yeah,
place,
I mean,
right?
I think so. The thing is, Kenny S was the best player on Envious, but they were a much more skill-heavy lineup. Yeah. He got times when other people could carry him. Happy carried him for a month. It was all the Guardian show for Na'Vi. So, okay, on Titan's side here, the key thing that's great about this lineup, if you're a fan of the history of CSGO, is every single one of these players was in very games previously. In fact, all within a span of about 6 months. So the original 4 was Existence, Smiths, and Shocks. I think the original 3 that was in the first line that always used to lose to Nip in all the finals, that was those 3. No, it wasn't Shocks, it was RPK, Existence, and Smiths. Then after that, they brought in Scream, RPK retired. That lineup actually didn't have that many finals, it was mainly like top 4s and 5th to 8s. Then after that, they kicked out Kenny S, and they got in Shocks. And that's when everything started to turn around. And that lineup, which was basically this lineup but without RPK, MBK was the player back then, that actually eventually became the best in the world, leading into the first major, a little bit after that. Then they had the downfall, though, in 2014. And so every player in here has history with each other. I mean, even, for example, I just said there, Shocks didn't play with RPK in CSGO, but they were in very games in the past together. They were in CSGO, CS Source rather. So there's, even though it's a new lineup, even with a bunch of changes over the last few months, there's a lot of history there. And so that's why I feel like they can tap into it a little bit.
The thing I find really interesting about this is ultimately the sort of surrender of, look, whatever the old beefs we've had in the past, whatever personality clashes we've had in the past, this is as good as we're going to get. Like, Envious is the best team in the world right now for me, but certainly in terms of a French lineup, this is what you're going to have to do. So they've actually managed to squash all that beef and just ignore the personalities.
All right, it is time, folks. Our first map is going to take place of our first match. And to bring you the action, the bad boys from Bucharest, Sadikist, Henry G, take it away.
I guess that's slight improvement, Henry.
Yeah, I prefer bad boys to just the boys. At least we've got some sort of tagline going for us now. That's pretty exciting. So obviously we're going to be getting straight into this one. Luminosity versus Titan. Looks like the Frenchman will be starting on the T side here. Not going for traditional B side, they'll be going for that mid control, boosting up, going towards A storage here. So question shown from the CTs just yet either.
I'll watch that first player up underneath the forklift position right now as well for the CTs. To be fair, he's sitting on the catwalk position. Now they're going to spot him, misses the shot on screen. That gives him away, and RPK is able to take down the first kill of the tournament, but Bolts now comes under pressure. He's in behind the quad. The problem is that they haven't got the smoke out in front of the highway. There's still a shot, there's still a crossfire, and therefore Bolts can take down 2. Titan responds swiftly, but they've lost so many men in the HP on Smiths that they have to get this next kill. Very smart and solidly done from Existence. Take down Cole, bomb gets planted as well, and now Steel, no kit, has to come up big. That's a huge kill because it's 3 HP left on Smiths. If he finds this shot immediately, it's all but done, but he doesn't know that. The problem is he's giving up a lot of time by rotating back toward middle. If Smiths just sits here and waits, it's going to go against the fact that Steel has no kit. Which I take back. He has now picked one up. So smartly for him to pick that up off the corpse near the top of highway. Now the duels come in. Now the flashes come out. It's going to take one headshot from Smiths, and he actually hits it! That's impressive.
Unbelievable scenes there. What was Existence playing at? They get the bomb down as a 2-on-1 situation. You want to make a crossfire, make it almost an impossible situation for the CT there. But for some reason, he goes for the face. He knows his teammate's very low HP. Really questionable play from him at the end there. But that great 1-on-1 situation, great use of the flashbang, coming round and somehow landing that one bullet there. So that's a great lifeline for Titan to hold on to. We go into the second round now. Luminosity not messing around. They're going to go for the force buy. Steel with the scout can be very deadly on this map indeed. He's actually going to be heading over.
He's actually right now.
He's gone towards A storage there, so he's going towards there, but it looks like Titan are fully stacked towards B. They're going to be committing to this as well. Recon man, RPK with the Mac 10 going in first, and Smoke will be spawning in there to the bomb site.
Keep in mind, they've got Existence behind the play as well, just waiting for rotation to be able to get information. Good shot from Cold, though, blinds up, still takes one down. And Fur has the crossfire set. All the kills right now going LG's way. Fur, he's got the third, and Scream manages finally to get one back, but he's stuck inside the small pit. The stack works out. Although there's a smoke towards CT, it's now just Existence who has to fight forward. He has to commit to this. The bomb's down inside the site. Quite a bit of work for him to grab it. Fur's going to hit the shot. Very well done from Luminosity.
I'm just not a big fan of those anti-eco approaches. Going towards B and committing to the bomb site before you even establish whether a full stack will be into the site. It's such a heavy choke point to commit to. You can just slow right down, you can spread out, play the time, go towards middle, see if there's any activity going on there. But they commit just to go straight towards B, run into the stack, get taken down with the CZ, and by that point there's no going back. It's just you're past the point of no return at that stage. So very disappointing from Titan after that great pistol, clinching it back. It's hard to see them go into that round like that, but they're going to be force buying themselves. They've got Desert Eagles, P250s and CZs, and of course full armor as well, so the CTs not out of the woods just yet. Looks like Titan will be going through the squeaky door as well. 3 players coming into that area.
Yeah, this rifle investment's pretty heavy as well. The M4 and bolts, we saw him come up fairly big last time from quad. Fur's going to sneak slightly forward. Smoke's deployed perfectly, so there's no gap, there's no time, there's no execution point where Titan can slip in undetected. Inferno's, that door's open as well. Problem is they've got 3 players there, so he needs to be in a position where he spots it coming out, or Bolt is going to be in trouble, but he's there perfectly. He lines up 2, takes them down, 3rd as well. Bomb's gone 3. He's the one to fall last until Existence in middle. This does some economic damage with this. Eagle tries to fake out that he's going toward that vent, but Steel's going to catch him in transition, and it is going to be 2 on Luminosity.
Yeah, the problem for that force buy from Titan is they didn't have enough utility to actually utilize going into the bomb site there. They're all going towards Squeaky Door. You can see Fur behind that forklift. That's probably one of the easiest spray downs you could ever get to see. There's like 3 players coming out, don't have the firepower to actually battle back, and they just got completely taken down. Normally you'd want to be smoking off towards highway, towards quad, flashbang key areas like forklift, so when you come out, at least you have that 2 seconds or so when you've got the point to actually get out of the Squeaky Door on A main. But simple round there for the Brazilian side. Looking pretty comfortable right now. You can assume that Tyson should be on a full eco going into this one.
Shocks is called for a timeout. Looks like it's technical. Yeah,
at this stage,
I think he put in problem in chat. So there he is on screen. We'll see what it is and if they can resolve it quickly.
Yep.
Just peering down, so we're above right now.
We
It's quite a clean setup from MLG. Yeah, so we're kind of on a bird's nest perch above either team in the middle. So we're just peeking down to see if anything's going on Shocks' PC, but he looks like he's ready to go. So we should be ready to go any second.
So this is a round that's ultimately going to be throwaway at this stage. It feels like this is going to be a full Glock buy, well, full Glock save, I should say, from the French side, but here we go.
Interesting aspect about this map, too, is Apex used to be so good on it. And when Kenny S and Apex were in Titan together, they could actually rotate Kenny between A quad with the op and mid, and he could solo rifle Apex in that mid position. So it's I'm a bit curious to see how Titan's able to play this map without him. I know at Star Ladder when they had him, he was absolutely excellent. He was the reason this was probably one of their best in the map pool.
Look at this play from
yeah, this
Titan.
is clever.
So they're going to have 3 people ready, presumably for a flashbang to come over from the mid area, but Steel though, he's coming in the back. Here comes the execution. No CT players whatsoever towards middle. Fur's going to make his way back towards there now. Should get some intel. He's going to fall and gets taken down from the side though. Sloppy play from the Brazilians.
Good recovery from Fur. Does take down 2, but he's dropped in the end by RPK, but more importantly, winning those kills, getting those back, takes away that mid pressure. They can't just completely split and overwhelm the A site. Cold comes around with the AWP. It's going to be 3-1, but now, as you say, we will see guns come back up.
Interesting setup there, that the fact that you've got no control towards middle, that you've got no one even aware that something may be coming up highway. So difficult to watch. They recovered the round though, so no harm, no foul. We go into round number 5, first proper gun run going into this. Looking at Luminosity's by, they've got the double orb setup coming in, so we Cold Zera and Fallen with those orbs. So obviously Fallen, renowned for his close range shotgun style orb technique. What will he bring to the table going into this round? Looks like he'll be going towards A storage. Whether he'll go for that aggressive peek is yet to be seen. Looks like he actually will be. Maybe towards Squeaky Door as well, going to be setting the tone. But Bolt is the one to open it up, taking down Existence as the fast mid play comes in from the French side.
Bolt's careful, needs to be aware that he's going to get Molotov. Didn't they actually miss that Molotov? And he gets the kill, but now he's standing in the flames. Good kill from him. The second one needs to get away from it. It does give Shocks the chance to respond, to retaliate, to bring it back to a 1-on-2. And he's also going to pick up the bomb. Molotov comes out late to limit off that vent option for Shocks, and they're actually going to push out on either side right now. They want the information. They want to make sure they know exactly where he is before he can reach the bomb sites. And Cold does that on the back, and Faith of that Molotov he places, that's gone. So he actually, Shocks could have snuck in behind. Either way, he's going to head over toward the A site, and that's where Cold, or rather, excuse me, Fallen is waiting.
So he's got 50 seconds. The good thing for him is both these players have AWP, so if they miss that first key shot and allow Shocks to get out here and get onto the bomb site, make it a close range situation, that's when it can get dangerous for them. So he's got 40 seconds on the clock. Making his first pick now. Fallen towards CT spawn. actually not going to be looking at all there. That was the point for Shock to capitalize there. Doesn't take advantage of it, does some damage, but could give away his position, and there it is! Gorlin takes him down with the headshot. Nightmare situation for Shocks. How he didn't make that kill. Normally renowned for his crisp aim and clicking on the head, so that sort of situation. Not really sure how that went down. Maybe just warming up perhaps, but difficult to watch there as Luminosity take the 4th on their own boards.
I mean, you go back to the tempo we're seeing as well, though. That round all started off with Bolts getting 2 very good quick kills in mid. It seems like both teams want to establish that dominance in mid. Aside from that round, obviously, where you mentioned the pistols going in, they didn't really have any pressure there. But now that the guns are up, that's going to be a major point of contention. Back to pistols this round, though, and Titan, it seems to be a lot quicker approach toward B.
Yeah, they've gone for the quasi-buy here, utilizing the lost bonus coming into it. Cold Zero going to fall back as they swarm onto the bomb site now.
Smartly doesn't stick around for that second shot either because it's such a long transition to get back into cover towards CT. This lets Steel come in, he picks up 2, and now Cold comes back into the fold as he walks back in through CT. It gets 1 kill on RPK. Shocks has done decent damage to get 2 kills of his own, but with just the P250 stuck inside the site, Bolt is going to find it, and it will be 5-1 for LG.
Yeah, pretty simple hold from there. Only took down 2 deaths. So they're going to have the double ops rocking still. I wouldn't be surprised now if they can start going a little bit more aggressive. We saw Fallen go for that squeaky door pick. Didn't find anything before because that fast mid play came in from the French side. So how they're going to mix things up now is yet to be seen. But this is where Titan need to start adjusting their play. They focus very heavily on the mid area so far. Hasn't really amounted to anything. It's been a little bit of an anomaly. Obviously, Bolt's picking up the 4K in the first gun round. You can't really write it off and say it's going to happen every time. But let's see how they approach this time. Looks like they're spreading their bet across the map a little bit more, waiting for the aggression to come in. Cold Zero towards B with the AWP.
This is interesting as well because we're seeing more of that dual mid pressure from LG right now on the CT side with that rotation at highway, but they're leaving a solo B and doing it. So there's definitely an option. The problem is if Cold keeps hitting those shots, they're going to get discouraged from it, and then they can afford to have that extra man over toward A.
Well, now they're falling back towards the mid play, and he actually hit Scream as well there, so he's going to be taken down to 16 HP. Titan definitely on the back foot with this round. Need to find a kill here. Haven't got control anywhere on the map really. Scream just waiting for his opportunity to take down the AWP player towards Connector. Going to smoke him off. The Steel is holding strong there. They're not giving up middle anytime soon.
Smoke out inside A main. Smiths wants to find this angle. Bolts, he does actually spot him, but the flash comes in. He can't land that shot. He definitely saw him above the smoke. That second time, he's looking for it. Bit of a cheeky peek right now. Either way, Existence has managed to at least establish some mid-presence, and with the smoke dissolving, it's going to be Fallen's job to task onto him. If he can cut him behind right now, if he can divide them and take over the truck, then this will make the split entirely possible. Smith takes down Bolts, and it becomes even harder for LG to hold. As Fur's going to have to wait toward that forklift, and here comes Existence. He takes down Scream. No, doesn't even get that far. Fallen hits Scream, but now they've taken over the site entirely, and Fallen up close. Can't find the second shot. Smiths can push forward, and Cold, he's limited to even trying to find this first approach. Great shot on Existence up close. But he still has a lot of work to do. Kit in the hand, so he's got time. He knows that they've likely planted towards A main. He's waiting for Smith to take that peek, but he's far too experienced for that. There's no way he's going to force this issue. They just have to play out the time.
This is what they should have been doing in the pistol. They got to give him an opportunity, though. At least he knows the positions of the players. But RPK finishing the deal there, gets the kill onto Cold Zero, and finally get around within like the last 4. I think that's the first time they've taken it since the pistol. So some promising prospects there going forward. They actually got the mid control that time. Existence getting the kill towards highway, and then they fell back, went towards A, and Scream hitting that nice headshot onto Fair behind the forklift there. That's what opened it up. Interesting for him to actually do that. It's a big kill from him, considering he had 15 HP, but delivered the goods, and now Titan changed their stance a little bit. They're going to have the double AWPs. Smiths and Shocks with those AWPs. Shocks looking to get revenge, perhaps. He got taken down the round before. So only going to have one AWP this time on the Brazilian side. So.
Yeah, and Cold obviously not on the AWP this round, changes his approach entirely, so he's not there for the quick pick. Instead he goes for the smoke, tries to play underneath of the vent. No one pushing in through middle this time, but they've got the second man in B. Smith still finds that first pick. Titan. This bodes well for them because it's going to force the rotation from the defense, and if they wanted to right now, they could actually take over some A presence as it's just Fur left inside the site. Bombed back towards T-spawn, so they're just trying to play this out slowly and evaluate what LG are up to, and it's fairly disciplined so far from the Brazilians.
Yeah, this is actually much nicer from Titan. They're spreading across the map, looking what picks are available. Smith's finding them, and now this is the time to go for mid controls. You know, the CT is going to be spread out a little bit more thinly. They can't really invest too heavily into certain choke points. It's just going to be Bolts who's going to be there by himself this time, just listening out. He's not going to be overcommitting to this. Titan are going to make their way out, though.
And they're actually going to rotate this back to A. Bolts was in a position where he'd be spotting the vent, so he could at least call if they tried to split on B. But now he's fallen off of that. They've gone for the early rotation. They don't actually have this information that Smiths has made it through the smoke, so it's all going to come down to Cold. He's waiting. He definitely hears them coming through, but he's going to have to find his time. He knows Existence coming close. Great shot, tries to peek it, force the issue, and Smiths He comes up on top of it instead. Scream follows it up, and the B site is entirely in the possession of Titan.
Yeah, not really much CTs can do in this round. They've got the AWP, they've got the M4, not even worth going for it. Like, it's not worth losing these weapons considering the economical situation they'll get themselves into. So just looking for an ETs going a little bit for audacious hunting, perhaps. You can see them actually, they're going to realize it's a save coming in. So they'll probably start hunting some CT soon. This is much better, as we're saying from Titan. They're just waiting out, spreading across the map, one key player across the map, and then seeing what they can do. Smith seems to be stepping up tremendously, getting 2 all picks that round, one very vital one towards the vent as well. He saw Keldera in the checkers room, found 1 kill. Heavily got double there, that could have been the round over, but Smith was ready to react, hit the shot, and Titan get the 3rd run on the board, finally coming to life here.
Doing that, it's important, like you say, for Smith to hit those shots, because doing that with 2 AWPs and playing the terrorist side, both go down. They actually lost the second one, so they had 4 up. It's suddenly 2 left. They'll lose the AWP on the CT side, but that's decent economic damage from Cold Tootler, rather from Fallen, just to hit those shots. The point I was going to make is 2 AWPs on the T side, not great for fast execution, so they have to find those picks.
Well,
so Smith's picking those up was big.
They tried the fast execution. They're boosting up towards middle. They're getting mowed down by the M4, so why not try the double AWP there? If they're getting the picks, it's definitely viable, but they lost a couple of frags towards the end there, so just going to be Smith's in. I think that's absolutely fine. He's been stepping up, he's getting the picks, and they've finally broken the economy of Luminosity as well. They're just going to have some upgraded pistols. Steel saved an M4 that round, so going to be placing it around him. What kind of player are they going to be going for?
They fail this boost so much.
Oh my god, this is getting awkward.
We highlighted this against the game against Na'Vi as well in the quarterfinals at the Major. They were atrocious at doing this, but finally they'll make it. Yeah, I agree. That is definitely worth a round of applause, because that is not their specialty. Either way, this boost could work out all right. Titan is evaluating the A site right now, and if they stay quiet on that boost and it goes overlooked, they've got 2 men toward the slide, plus 1 more waiting in the shadows, so this could actually be perfect.
Well, Shocks are coming in for the backstab from Highway. They've got to act right now.
They're executing as well. They're using a lot of utility, so this would imply that either they're trying to flush them out or they're going to go, and they are going to go, but Bolt misses the shot. He's the one that has to come up big in that situation. Burr's able to get 1 before he's dropped back down and fallen. He's going to be trapped on the site, surrounded. Manages to at least get screened, but the rifle, the one that they left solo at B, Steel. He's going to come up massive. I didn't think he would even take it that far. Smith says the AWP. He's waiting, trying to get toward the site, but he has bomb in the hands, 34 seconds. He doesn't have as much HP as there is time.
This is actually a really nice play from Steel, you know. The fact he's backstabbing here, the likelihood that Smiths will be going towards ace door is pretty high here. Not going to work out for him this time, but still coming in, lurking in. I'm not sure Smiths is going to be looking towards this position. You can see his AWP poised towards Highway, just assuming he's going to be coming from that area. This could work out horribly for me. Finally adjusts the position there. The spray comes down. Smith's still alive, though.
Smith has to stay so silent, just wait out the time. He knows it's in his favor. Steele's still searching for it. He has no kit, remind you. And that smoke is going to allow Smith to walk through. Surely he goes down, but Steel, he can't get near enough for the defuse. So Titan will pick up another round. They'll lose a lot of guns in doing so. We'll see a buy come out from the Brazilians, but it's too bad that flank play didn't work out.
That's the thing, in hindsight, considering he didn't have the kit, that's probably a bad play from him. Like, he had to act a little bit faster. He knew that Smith was really low HP. He needed to get in and try and get the bomb defused as quickly as possible. That, in fact, he took so long to get around. That is no real opportunity to defuse, but a very good round in terms of economic damage. Towards the friend side there, they got 4 kills. I'm not sure if Smith started towards the bomb there. We didn't get to see that, but
when you have 4 players who buy up on pistols and you don't have to rebuy on anything because you saved the rifle from the last round, it's almost worth it for him. He's going to be playing solo on a site, knows he's going to have to go for the retake if the stack fails. If the stack wins, they're not going to get a plant. I almost think you should almost always buy a kit in that position when you're the 1 rifle player.
Probably a fair call. Well, we go into round number 10 now. It looks like a much more executed piece coming in from Titan. They'll commit 4 players towards the A-bomb site here. 1 player towards mid. CTs though, behind that red box can be great for these. When these smoke executions come in, it's a great position to be able to look over and see what's going on. It's going to be smoking off A-main as well, slowing down Titan here.
It's one of those shots you almost wish he would just fire in preemptively because he may have caught bolts there.
Here comes the distraction towards middle though.
And they've got a man there. It's going to be Fallen. But who would you rather in this duel? You'd have to think the individual skill might favor Shocks, but Fallen is no fool either. So this is very important. Like you say, this could hinge the whole round because it'll open up that 3rd approach toward the A site.
This is so
still wait with utilities. Bolts is not going to be affected by that Molotov that they've thrown out toward the quad position. And this is just a passive fight right now. Fallen, Shocks isn't moving at all, and he's actually going to start heading back up the highway. Shocks has a perfect chance right now to backstab. Little does he know it. Either way, his teammates, they're going to enter. Bolts, he's got 1 at least, and now Shocks does it. Timing is everything. He takes down 2. And although Bolts comes up with 1 better, it still opens up this position for a split onto him inside the A site while he waits for his 2 teammates to rotate. Steel And Cold, they're not yet in position. If Bolt's just going to come up with even more 4 kills, that may just be enough to secure the round. Smith's going to switch over to the AWP. Has to go for the plant right now. 12 seconds remaining, and he's going to take the fight instead. It's not going to work.
Titan was such a good position there. The shots have got that undetected. I felt like the synergy could have been a little bit more on point. If they'd have executed at the right times and made sure they were actually going in together, Shox would have come in and done a lot more than 2 kills there towards the end. But they came as a little bit apprehensive. Only one player committed at first, and they all came out after the first kill was made. It was a bit sloppy from Titan, it has to be said. But we go into this round, though. You can see Luminosity still haven't really recovered their money. Fur's going to be onto an MP7. The rest of the guys, they have got decent buys, falling without a kit. It shouldn't be too much of an issue going to this one, though. It's going to be a force buy from Titan. They're going to have Tech 9s, Desert Eagles, and head armor, and some utility. Most teams will go towards middle in this situation. He has gone towards it. The screen gets taken down. Fallen capitalizes, though. At this point, though, he's got some decent information.
Good flash. They tried to time that flash so Fallen wouldn't be able to spot the vent push, but instead they rotate down Bolts. He gets it. Fur's going to use that SMG. Extra money for him. Bolts takes shocks, but RPK has at least done damage to one of the rifles. Steel drops that, make it down 2. Fur's going to go down. And the last player remaining inside B will slowly let that end. It's going to go to 7-4. And how fragile was that? I mean, if Luminosity obviously was an anti-eco, if they'd gone down there, it's 6-4. They're forced to save this round. And suddenly Titan, who were down 5-1 at a point, have control of the half.
This is it. Next round could be very important indeed to see what Titan can bring to the table. I don't think they'll have too much in cash. That's all after that force buy. You can see they're going to be literally next to nothing. He's going to have PT-50s, Glocks, and a smoke grenade. So that force buy not really amounting to anything going forward. So currently on round number 12, they're going to be looking to the future here, committing 4 players towards B. Shox once again going towards mid by himself. Codzera, though, could be caught out of position. He does take down Shox, but reply comes in from Smith. And now they may have a real chance here to find that second kill on the bomb side.
Great shot by Smith. Does take down Steel. You almost would like to see that support flash come out from Steel to help out Cole, because he knew he was slightly fumbled in his positioning from Vent. Either way, if he's fighting another bomb site, bomb not yet planted, mind you, because it's dropped in the open with RPK. When he picks it up, he realizes he's home alone. Fur's going to get that second kill. And Lumi will extend the lead, but now we'll see exactly what Titan have to offer.
I don't think the money will be fully stabilized for them yet, so whether they'll get the AWP is yet to be seen. So big round coming in. LG definitely picking up some momentum here.
Oh, yeah, no, it is going to be all AKs. This is
Look at the buy as well. They haven't really got anything to work with. They've got a few smokes. They haven't got the Molotovs, which is so key on cash. You need to go flushing out CTs, and it can be so vital actually getting into the bomb sites.
It looks like they're going to go for that boost play. I was about to say, remember, we talked about this early on when they went fast mid. It was with the rifles, and that was the problem. This time they at least get a trade kill, but Fur's going to push into A main through a flash. And that smoke dropping the bomb. Knows they have to commit, but he's going to be overwhelmed. Scream comes around. Existence helps him with that. The nade, is it going to be enough to at least take Existence? No, down to 10 HP. And Scream's on 41. More importantly, Titan will recover the bomb and leave it in a 3-on-3.
What was so good about that was as soon as that fast mid play came in, you saw the CTs reacting, pushing into A storage, gaining positional control, getting the bomb as well. So much information gained. Shox once again in a really advantageous position. He's got behind enemy lines towards Z connector. The T's, that's their only real play right now. You can see them making their way towards mid to try and back him up. But Codzera towards Toxic as well. They've kind of got the map completely locked down. Very difficult round for Titan to do anything with. Shox trying to push forward now, see if he can work anything out here, but still just looking towards that area. He's aware of the situation.
Yeah, very smart from Steel. He knows this is the only place not covered.
Here we go. Are they going to check Toxic?
No, they're not. Cole's going to at least get one. Gets dropped in the end by Scream, so Scream's accuracy prevails one more time. That allows the bomb to get a little closer to be in Shox. He's actually heard the first member cross over, but he's going to walk out and get a crossfire. Bolts is able to hit him and hold his composure, and surely that's the round. 27 seconds still for Scream, but he's going to have that perfect headshot play yet again because he's low on HP, and when he gets in the open, there it is from Scream. That's the potential you always know that he has. And now suddenly things change because he puts bomb down. He can play the time. Bolts is suddenly the one in the tight position. And Scream's not even going to let himself be in an open spot at all. Bolts is checking everywhere, but he's not going to go that far away from it. He's got a kit, so he's got a bit of time to play with. And he thinks that he's going to be out toward the main, the B tunnel, so he's going to fire this off. He's actually going to hold it a few. Scream's not going toward it. It's done. It's over. He defuses it. Scream was not ready for that. And just to add insult to injury, he'll take Scream down after the round.
You can see the look on Scream's face. He knew he's been absolutely outplayed. That fantastic shot he got towards CD spawn. But Bolts with the incredibly clever execution there. When he get the Molotov down towards Checkers, he knew that the way the bomb was planted, there's literally no way he could have even faced and won the round there. Goes to the full defuse, works out perfectly. That's a really impressive round there. Really clever play from both players. Obviously, Scream getting taken care of there towards the end. We go to number 14. The T's, once again, they're really ropey by going to this. They have no choice but go for this fast mid play. They just don't have the grenades to play with. Fallen takes the first kill onto Smiths. Doesn't really have to commit much more. He will go. This is the time for him to fall back. If he dies here, it's probably a bad call from him.
Burr manages to come back down highway, drop bomb out of Shox' hands. RPK may be there to trade it, but Fallen, he's also in a great position, and this round looking done as well. Going to be 10 rounds for Luminosity after this, so that's a solid CT half. There's no question about it. This gives them a chance to work onto their T side, which we obviously know. Yeah, let's not call it done just yet. We've seen Fur almost do this to us at the major as well in a 1-on-5, but Steel gets it. He will close it. This is going to be a very different half as well when we see Luminosity going to that T side, because we know they're more like the Na'Vi style, where they'll bait out a lot of time, they'll play the picks, they'll set up, and then they'll hit super quick with really, really, really utility-based executions.
Well, this is the thing. Titan, obviously, they're force buying a lot this half as well. They force bought with the AKs. Only one player actually had any utility whatsoever, so they have no real choice but to go for those fast plays, try and stick together as a little unit. Fallen, not even flash, not taking any smokes towards his area at all. Find some easy picks there, and the round just fell apart for Titan completely. We go to number 15, and once again, they're on the force buy. Desert Eagles, AKs. This should be an easy round. Fur going for that A push. Once again, takes an RPK and gets away with it as well. Fantastic stuff from him. The Shox replies. The Lone Ranger towards Highway, still causing trouble in that area.
That was a risky push from Fur as well, because he went in before the flash. Just deployed that team nade. Is it going to go far enough? No, Bolts just kills Fur. That was the miscommunication. As he was waiting in that smoke, he only had about 9 HP to play with, and now Bomb's going to go down. So we're staring at 10-5 unless Steel can do anything about it. Scream's going to get that shot over top of the lid of the truck, and it's left the cold. Obviously going to go for it, round 15. But chances, not great. Has a kit, so at least he's got time to evaluate this. And if he hit that shot on Scream, which he does rather, but kill him, it could have been over. Switches to the pistol, closes it off. Smiths is just going to wait in the corner. Cold's not going to check that at all. No way at all. And it's going to be 10-5. Smiths holds his composure, but now, again, we're going to see a very different approach to this next half.
Yeah, this is like that classic play style. They'll wait until about 30 seconds, execute very slowly. Their B takes on this map are absolutely incredible. It's almost impossible to hold off. Like, they've got such set pieces in terms of the Molotovs and the smoke grenades. They expect a very challenging prospect for Titan here. This is going to be an exciting half, but Titan, their economy situation was running away from them a little bit. They're lucky to win that last round, in fact. I'm not really sure how Luminosity let them get away with it. Obviously, got the first pick, fall back, and then somehow Titan take advantage of team nades, that sort of thing. Communication issues going on, perhaps. But here's the stats on your screen right now. Smith's leading the charge in 11 frags. Fur going absolutely huge over 17 kills.
Yeah, and 141 ADR.
That's pretty massive.
Yeah, that's a big stat to look at. That's kind of an interesting stat. So for those who don't know, average damage per round. Obviously, 100 is one player, so he's killing 1.5 players per round. It makes it a lot easier for his teammates, even if he picks up the assists, which, as you say, 17 kills, 6 assists as well. So definitely playing on that that team game. Smiths leads the way on headshot percentage, by the way, 41%. You'd think that'd be Scream by default.
Well, Scream was having some nutty shots there. It wasn't like the biggest game for him in terms of kills. I guess only got 8 kills, but some of the clutch situations he was doing, he is warming up, it looks like. But it has to be said, after winning the pistol, only getting, 5 rounds in that half is a little bit disappointing.
Keep in mind, they did get eco'd, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the
But
things
still,
one of the things we don't
it wasn't like they got anti-eco'd out of, some Luminosity did something sick. They just had a really bad approach to their second round. They actually didn't take the time to actually flush out any key areas. They didn't get positional control anywhere. They just went, let's commit towards B, let's see what happens. We'll take him down, run into a stack.
And they did that twice, actually.
Yep.
Keep in mind, with the round when we saw Bolts get boosted in the corner with the run boost on what was like the 7th attempt.
Sure.
It was the same thing. It was a stack, and they just committed. They threw in all the Molotovs and went, all right, well, we didn't flush anyone, let's go.
Well, the thing is, when you go towards A and you do execute like that, it's a little bit more, I can forgive that a little bit more. Obviously, it's a full execution, so the idea is you flushing out the CTs and you can make them face you. When you just walk into B on the second round, and you literally you're so committed at that stage, you've got nothing to work with, that's when I'm just like, okay, you've had the advantage there. You won the pistol. You've got the weapon advantage. At least spread out and see what's going on inside of the round.
That's my point, is that if you're keeping track of the economy, even if you have a feeling it's going to be an eco, do a 4-1 split. Send one guy in the lurk and see what he can at least get for information. You know, if he's going to walk into the other site, even if he goes down in a one-on-one, he can say, okay, there's only one here. Chances are it's going to be that stack on the opposite side. So I'm still a fan of looking for that information. We see TSM make that mistake quite a few times, more recently actually than not, in LAN situations where they haven't been winning, which is unfortunately was the case for them in the quarterfinals as well.
Well, we go into the second half now. Luminosity going to be side on the T side. Obviously, we have 4 sets of armor for them. Fallen, the utility play. Looks like they're setting up towards A. The stack from the CTs, they're looking like they're going to be focusing more towards B.
Well, Smiths is way back right now. There's no one in A, so they are playing that heavy B presence for the retake on A. The only kit is in Scream's hands. So now that they've got information toward B, they get a little bit of a rotation moving forward. Shock's going to get aggressive toward this squeaky position. That's where Bolts wants to enter the site from. But there's really no commitment. Again, this is what I expect to see from Luminosity, even on the pistol round where they don't have that much utility. They're going to sit back. They're going to let Titan dictate the pace and make the mistakes and then take advantage of it.
That's what they're waiting for. A lot of the CT teams will show aggression on the CT pistol. Like you're always waiting for a rush coming in from the Ts. You're outnumbered there, so potentially go push a certain area, try and gain information. But nothing's shown from either team just yet. Here it comes though. Middle presence shown. Scream going to get some information. He's looking for the one shot. Not going to land anything though, just going to decide to fall back.
He's going to rotate B as well because he saw them jumping toward the vents. The problem is there's only one other player here. That's RPK, but RPK's in a great spot, only getting one. Cold comes back and Scream, he's going to go down to Fallen as he tries to push through that smoke. Fallen waiting toward that generator, managed to beat him inside his own sight. But now watch for Shocks, who's trying to line it up, and Fallen's going to come up again. All the kills going LG. It's on Smiths, 1 on 4. Bomb's going to go down as we speak, and it's looking like LG, well, they may not have taken the first pistol. They definitely will get the second.
Yeah, really slow, methodical approach from them there. Just feeling out the map, spreading out, seeing what's going on, and then they felt the mid presence could work out for them. Go for the B split straight away. RPK, he actually went massive in the major, if you remember, against NIP on that pistol. They were unable to land, only but one headshot for him there, and they swarmed the B bomb site, and that passive setup from Titan not really working out for them. So we go into the second round now. This is where Titan slipped up in the first half. You can see Luminosity going for a much different approach. They're going for 3 Mac 10s. They're going to be going very hard here, you'd imagine, trying to smoke off towards quad perhaps, isolate the forklifts, just run out together and see what they can do with it. Run boost coming in though from the CTs. A lot of damage being done. Smith's in a horrible position for this.
Yeah, Titan's actually a team that run this run boost a lot. Yeah, they got caught in the process, so definitely disadvantages things on this A site. They're going to try and flush out toward Nubox. That bounced in a weird way, though. That Molotov lands in the front of the site. Didn't go where it was intended at all. Either way, Scream, he tries to catch Fur off guard and goes down. Shocks has come over to compensate for the man that's lost, but they've lost Smiths as well. That puts them now in a 5-on-3. 4 HP on first. There's a chance they can find him, but Cold's still able to wrap around and take down Shocks. Existence with the Deagle. He's got to reload. That gives Cold all the time he needs to take the next shot. RPK, though, he holds slightly better composure. Yeah. Keeps it together, but suddenly he finds himself very alone. There's the low HP player. That one's not surprising, but that one's better as he takes down Fallen Steel. He has to go one-on-one in the end, although there was never much of a chance for the trade either way. It's going to be the second round, so they won up Titan where they don't get eco, but it came close. Yeah,
it looked like they actually had that round completely tied up. Just one man remaining, then RPK out of absolutely nowhere finds 3 Desert Eagle kills, and that last one wasn't far off from being a headshot either. That could have been disastrous scenes for the Brazilian side where they managed to hold on. Obviously now Titan can't really justify anything much more than a P250 and some smoke grenade, it seems. Luminosity going to stick to the Mac 10s. They know they're up against a very weak buy. It's just going to be a fast mid play for them, but Shock sneaks behind enemy lines here, finds the first kill. Can he make it 2? He doesn't. Cold Zero neutralizes it. 4-on-4.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous if they weren't able to trade that, because then he would have had a weapon to pick up as well. But LG, now they take over mid. Still waiting with that bomb toward A main. It's just going to be passive and let his teammates go to work. That's in the hands right now of Fallen. And Steel, he's doing all the work. He's going to take down 2 more. And this definitely opens up the option for A site, so they will slowly work in that position. Scream's going to push forward. They've already caught Existence at Truck, and that concludes the round 13-5. And Luminosity, this is a great spot for them to be in. Even though it's T side, even if momentum starts to go against Titan, they've got a lot of rounds to work with.
Well, the good news is for Luminosity as well. After that force buy from Titan and not winning the round, they don't get the AWP on the first gun, and that's a huge problem here. Obviously, Cash, very reliant on getting the first pick in the map, rotating it around, getting key information, facing towards B storage, for example. They just don't have that luxury this time, and they don't have a single kid as well. If the bomb goes down, they're in an absolute nightmare position here. So you feel like they have to go for the first pick somewhere. They need to gain some sort of control of the map. But if it looks like a very fast play coming in from the Brazilian side, going straight towards A, and they're going to be committing to it as well. You see Smith trying to push through the smoke. He's going to flash through. This comes down to this moment.
This could work. Smith, he's so silent right now. Scream gets dropped on the site, but Smith is going to go in behind 2 of the players. They can't trade it so far, and he's gotten Steel down. Swaps over guns as well. Bomb does get planted, but they're going to swarm from all sides. A very important kill from Bolts, because that means that suddenly the terrorists aren't stuck inside the site. They've got a way to get into a post-plant position, and they fight forward as well. They don't even bother hiding, manning up and getting the 14th round.
You can see that. That's what Smiths was trying to do. He knew if the bomb went down, he needed to do something with that. Tried to push through the smoke, only found 1. Had he got 2 in that situation, he could have justified staying alive. After he got 1, he needed to get more. The bomb was going down. They needed to find more frags in that situation. He then died, and then the bomb goes down. and there's pretty much GG at this point now, because obviously we're one round away from map point. Titan have to force buy here. They can't allow Luminosity to go to 15-5 and have 10 rounds to work with and see what they can do with it. So they're going to force buy once more. Existence, the only man of a rifle here, and you can imagine Luminosity are probably reading this quite well. It's sitting really far back and it's working out what's going to be the best play here. But
really good push from Smiths, though. He actually went through Squeaky that time and caught bolts. That's the first time they've done that the entire CT half, so it gives them one more rifle to accommodate and accompany that Existence has on the FAMAS. So I like the aggression. We saw them boost toward vents as well to try and establish more mid-presence and also have a quick rotation. And now they can push back. Good play as well, Smiths, just making sure that door's shut. That slows things down.
And it's going to be waiting here. You can see them completely spread out. He's going to have one player steal or stops it once again. And the interesting thing is one CT pushing into mid-storage. That's absolutely shocked. He has been a snake in the grass. Actually takes down Cold Zero as well. Comes down to the 3 or 4 in favor of Titan.
I'm impressed that Fallen was able to land that. The problem is that he and Fur are so low on HP, and they have to go back to this bomb, the 5-7. It's going to be more than enough, but he's looking the wrong way. Shot! Surely he's going to go down. It's Steel either way that hits the kill. Existence is going to try and force the issue now. And this does still look very good right now for Titan.
Yeah, they've got 2 players waiting towards A as well. That's actually going to play perfectly for him. 30 seconds remaining. And also don't have a lot of time to play with. And they get smoked off as well. This is a perfect position for Titan to win this round.
Bit surprised that Existence didn't try and push through on that because he heard them going toward A. Either way, RPK, he's done his job. He's gotten at least the first one. Second one as well. That's the 2 low HP players, and there's nothing Steel can do. Titan come out big, and that's all started with that push from Bolts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or push onto Bolts, rather.
Yeah, through the squeaky door. They needed to find something out of that. They find the first kill, can fall back, force the issue so much. Shock's going into middle, finding a kill as well. This really shook up and rattled the Brazilian side there. Left himself with 30 seconds, had no choice but to push through that smoke. It was such a perfect play from Titan there to actually drop that at the right time, and easy kills for RPK as they run out for them. So they managed to get themselves a lifeline here. Money's definitely not going to be stabilized in any way. They're going to have 5 rifles once more, but at least they have something to play with here. They're not onto map point just yet. Fallen has picked up the AWP, so I still favor them going into this round. Looks like they will be focusing towards the A-bomb side once more.
Smiths is the one that waits toward quad. Again, watch for execution from Luminosity. Cold's just making sure there's no one coming in on the flank, but the smokes, they should come out. They've committed a lot of players right now to this squeaky door, though, so that actually limits the angles they can cover off with these smokes. Good pick from Fur. That's going to help a lot to try and enter from the front of the site. Scream, though, takes down Fallen, and suddenly it slows. What they look promising is all but different now, and Scream's in a great position. Knows Fur's over to that left side because he picked up that first kill already, so Scream gets one, but Bolts trades it, and it's a slightly too late of a shot from Bolts to save his teammate and make this take far more probable. Either way, he's going to get brave right now and try and push through that smoke. Smiths is forced off a quad, but he's still in a great position to spot out exactly where the action's going to come in, and he knows Bolts has to be loud about it. Smiths takes down Bolts, and it's Cold's turn to try and search out exactly where he's lost his opponent. And Smiths uses that smoke now to his own advantage to get back over toward quad late. Cold has to flash through, but there's a player on either side. It does catch out Existence brilliantly, but Smiths is there to take Steel, traded in the end by Cold, and he's going to have to do this round all himself. 2 kills already, and it's left to a one-on-one with RPK. He's got time to fake out the first bomb plant, but he needs to hit the shot. He goes for the repeat, and he does. LG's on map point.
Interesting decision there from RPK. Obviously, the fake plant coming in. You'd assume, okay, his fake plant today, he refaced and actually fed out the palm of Cold Zero there. He picks up the kill, and after winning one round and losing the subsequent one, which is that one there, Titan only have $1,400 going into this round. They have the force buy once more. They're on the back foot. This wrap is slipping away from them rapidly. You can see the buy coming in. It worked out before. Can they do it again? It's going to be CZ for Smiths, Deagle for RPK, and Famises, and 1M4 to play with no kits. So need to be looking for that first kill once again. That's not going to help. Cold Zero through the smoke. Takes down Existence. You see Shock's reacting now. He needs to find a kill. Needs to do something with this. Not going to find anything, though, as the mid-attack keeps coming in from the Brazilians.
And the problem is the map control. They take it. A main is completely overwhelmed by the fact they're compensated to the fact that they give up mid. So it's all for naught. Shox is going to try and hold this position, but the more that they can take highway, the harder it becomes to hold the A site regardless. Scream managing one, but Fallen's going to take Shox, and with Scream going down just before that, it's all left to Smiths. Map 1 looking all but done, and Luminosity definitely outclassed the position, at least placement of Titan at the major. It's looking like they're going to do so here. And on a map that I'm a bit surprised that it's this one-sided on. Again, Titan, when they had Apex and Kenny, this was one of their better maps. Luminosity, it's not one that they always go to, but there it is. This time it's going to be convincing. 16-6 for the Brazilians.
Hugely convincing. I think Titan only won one round in a CT campaign there, so it looked like Luminosity definitely are the complete undecided victors there. Really interesting play from them. Impressive to see, but Titan not really showing up at all. It seemed like Scream had some moments there. Shox very quiet throughout the campaign. It looked like RPK was the talisman once more, but what can we really take away from that one? It's a battering.
Well, it's exactly. I'm more going to look toward Luminosity in this, and this is one of the things that I've been advocating with this team in a while, is if their 3 main players, Fallen, Fur, and Cold, can all be on at one time, they can take just about anyone. I really do believe that. The problem is it's been inconsistent. But now, since about the middle of the major, Fur, who was quiet for the last 2 months prior, has suddenly found his form again. Cold obviously was their best player at the major. Fallen, admittedly, and he'll say it himself, let them down in that match against Na'Vi. On Dust 2, he had the lowest frag total of anyone in the server. It's obviously a very important Dust an AWP map. So that was a bit of a problem. But if they can get things rolling, even though this group is the harder group, I think they have a huge chance of coming out with it.
Absolutely. They've always got a chance. They're always, we never... And the analyst test and stuff like that, we always kind of write them out of the tournament. You think, oh yeah, they're quite good. We don't really see them getting that far, but they always make the last 8 of the majors. They always have a big upset, like taking down Fnatic, for example. They always do amazing things, and then we get into this event. I think it's more of the same. We're like, oh, we know they're good, but probably won't get too far. But that's such an impressive result going forward. Titan got to be thinking, what the hell's going on recently?
That's definitely one thing, right? This team was rebuilt to start succeeding, to take back what Envious has claimed is not only the best team in the world, but the best French team.
Yeah.
And I love what Fallen said in the interview, though. We know we're good at best of 1, so even though they're playing tight and you didn't make it out of groups, we're not, we want to prove that we're good over best of 3s. So they've made the first step. We'll send it down to the desk. We are going to hear from guys who should probably be doing more analytical points than we are, and then we'll come back for map 2.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. So again, map 1 is Luminosity's choice. They take it 16-6.
Yep.
Seemed like maybe Scream was going to try to break the tide. He goes into a 2v1, plants the bomb, sneaks around the backside. Bolts comes in, says, I'll have none of that. Let me get rid of this side. Diffuses behind the box, untouched.
I'll be real. It could have been a more one-sided victory. If you think about how the last round of the half went, Bolts, who've just done wonderfully to clutch against Scream in that situation you're alluding to, which could have maybe given them, an extra couple of rounds had they won it. He actually gets a team kill with a grenade. That's just poor communication, and then misses a really easy 1v1. With the AK. So it could have been an 11-4 half, probably should have been, wasn't, but there was no doubt in my mind that on cash, Luminosity would be the superior team. I don't think necessarily as well, it was all just about Luminosity doing things the right way. Clearly Titan are trying to try out something new with these execute styles on their T side. It's not what we usually see from existence teams. They had shocks, and I don't know if there's anything to do with him. Some people are saying that maybe he might be calling at this event. I can't believe that Existence would ever let that happen. I know where he's seated, it might let it look like, but that would be the ultimate cuckolding if that was what was happening.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Richard. That's the period of Titan we're in now. Basically, Existence is in his officer and a gentleman mode of, I got nowhere else to go.
I thought it was going to be DMX for a minute there. But anyway, so the point I'm making is they had all these moments where Shox was like, I'm going to flank, I'm going to come around the side and get these kills. But if you've got no synergy, then it's a waste of time. It doesn't matter. Shox gets a couple of kills, but you lose the round. So really frustrating for Titan fans on that T side.
For anyone, though, who watched the Major, if you'd never seen this team play before Luminosity, you think, right, well, obviously coldzera is the best player on their team, fantastic player. The best player on this team has always been Fur. He's always been a really impressive player. The problem is, we've never got to see him at enough European lands that we can really put him in like a top 10 in the world. But I've seen so many performances from this guy against high-level European teams where he was dropping 25, he was like out-skilling people, out-rifling top players. I think if he was to play like the 15 European lands, I think he actually could break the top 10. He's that level of player, actually. So glad to see him do it here against some skilled players on the Titan side. But like I say, though, this is a map that it's misleading when you think Titan are good on it, because in reality, it's not a map they've been playing. It's not a map that is in their wheelhouse at the moment. It's the old Titan that used to be good on cash. That was the Kenny S era. That was the Apex era. This is a very different era. I mean, one thing they clearly have lost when they got rid of Apex is they don't have the same entry fragging.
Not at all.
Did play entry frag and Envious, but he didn't even like it there. He was making Kiyoshima do it mainly, and he was playing off him.
It's got to be Scream who
It's never going to be.
That role.
It's never going to be.
I know it's never going to be, but it has to be in the way that the team's constructed. If you need an entry fragger, you've got a guy who you call the human aimbot. Well, he's got to step up and take that role over. Now, if what they've done here is we're going to have Existence not be an in-game leader anymore, which is what everyone's saying, and again, I can't believe that. But if that is true, okay, add some frag into your game. 5 kills, brilliant. Well, this is what I mean. Titan don't even know what sort of team they want to be right now.
Well, and again, Luminosity said in the interview with me, Fallen said our curse is these best of 3s. They've started as best as they could. Their map, solid win on best of 3. But obviously, next map is going to be Cobble. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to delve into the possibilities for Titan on Cobble. Again, are we going to see a 2-0 or will we go 2-1? So we'll be right back after this quick commercial break, folks.